everybody. This is Mickey Lynn Larson-Olson, aka Q Patriot, January 6th, inmate 376303. And this is part 2 of my one meal of the day. I made nachos from scratch tonight. I already did a part 1, and I showed everybody how I made tortilla chips. I made some tortilla chips with some masa, and so those turned out amazing, and I fried them, cut them up, fried them, because I had some left over from my tacos for Tacos Tuesday. So I decided I wanted to have nachos. Now, I am really being conscious about what ingredients go into my body. So I make a lot of things from scratch, and that included my tortilla chips that I made tonight. And I also made some nacho cheese sauce tonight from scratch. So the one thing I love about making things from scratch, more than just going to the store and buying stuff, is you can put whatever you want in it, or you can take whatever you want out of it. But the biggest thing is you know what is in your food and what you're actually feeding your family. So my big encouragement is for you to look at the ingredients that's in your food. And if you need a chemistry degree to figure out what's going into your stomach or what's in the vaccines, I encourage you highly to require your doctor to provide you with the ingredients of the vaccines, because they do not know what they are, or at least they pretend they don't. So anyway, I made a nacho cheese sauce, which again gave me the freedom to kind of do with it what I wanted to. All recipes for me are a jumping off point. And so I just did ChatGPT, and I just said, can I get a recipe to make nacho cheese sauce from scratch? So the recipe said 8 ounces of, so the recipe said to take 2 tablespoons of butter. I used Tillamook butter, and use whatever you want, but that's what I used. And I actually put 4 tablespoons instead of 2, just because I added more cheese to it. I wanted definitely a lot more cheese, so I put some more of that in it. And then it said to melt all the butter, right? You'll want to keep this pretty low, at most medium heat, because you don't want to burn you're going to need to put milk in there. So you're going to put it's like whatever. This recipe called for 2 tablespoons. I put 4. Put whatever you want, and you'll melt that. And then it said 2 tablespoons of flour. I ended up putting 3 tablespoons of flour by the end of it, and you'll just whisk that for a couple minutes, and then you'll put 1 cup of milk. I ended up adding a little more milk later on, also because I added more cheese, but the recipe called for 1 cup of milk. I just added extra cheese, so I added extra ingredients. And then you're going to thicken up. You'll keep whisking that until it thickens up, and you'll know when it's thickened up. And then you'll turn it off the heat, and that's when you'll put it. The recipe calls for 8 ounces of cheese. I ended up putting 16 ounces of cheese. That's just me. You do you. And also it said 2 tablespoons of the jalapeno, the jalapenos, like you got your jalapenos and it has the juice inside of it. You'll want 2 tablespoons of that. I ended up putting 3 tablespoons of that. I also, because I am making my own, it does give you the freedom to put whatever you want in there. I added some cayenne pepper. I added salt and sea salt. I added sea salt and some pepper and some pepper flakes and a little cumin, just a little, because cumin will get away from you if you let it You gotta be careful with that cumin. Boy, it'll bite you if you gotta just put like a couple pinches of that, and like cayenne pepper, chili powder, a little bit of chili powder, a little bit of paprika. I put in there. I'm always trying to keep it in my head, but you put whatever ingredients you want. That's the luxury of you making it yourself from scratch rather than buying it at the store. And you can make sure you like how it tastes. I also went ahead and cooked up some of my jalapenos because I had those jalapenos, so I cooked some up. I have some raw ones, but I cooked some up inside of there also. So I've already tasted that, of course. It's yummalicious, yum yum. I needed to make sure my sauce was going to be perfect before I put it all over my food. Like I said last night, I had for Taco Tuesday, I had tacos, and I made the tortilla shells from scratch. I made a yellow tortilla shell. I ended up making a tostada with that, and I ended up making a white tortilla shell. So but here's my meat. I get my ground meat. I get it from Force of Nature, which is a farm out in Austin. They do regenerative farming, and I buy a lot of meat from them. They're just fantastic. I love their variety. They have a whole different kind of variety. Bison, venison, boar, just like a whole, bunch of different things you can get. So I highly recommend you just look at Force of Nature. They're just amazing. So again, I'm not sponsored by anyone, but I do give shout outs to the companies that have done me good and are helping me on my health journey, because I'm hoping they can help you as well. I just don't really trust a lot of things in the grocery store anymore, and they earn that. So I do a lot of my shopping online. I get a lot from Thrive Market, which don't sell any ingredients that are banned in other countries. So I get a lot of things there. But yeah, here's my meat, and I have a GARDYN. So last night I did harvest off my GARDYN. I harvested off some banana peppers, some jalapeno peppers, some cayenne peppers. A gigantic pepper, and I cooked those up and put those in my meat last night for my tacos, and I got organic taco seasoning. You'd be shocked. I want you, next time you decide to go get some of those packets, see if you needed a doctor's degree to see what those ingredients are. So if you do, I highly suggest you kind of start looking elsewhere, because you should need a doctor's degree to figure out what's going in your stomach, and you shouldn't need a doctor's degree. Unfortunately, our doctors don't even know what ingredients are in the vaccine, so there's that. But anyway, YouTube, I'm just fun in here, just talking out my ass again. Just got that associate degree, and I was a medical assistant. I don't know anything, so nobody listens to me anyway. So anyway, but so I did that. But I decided I wanted to make nachos tonight. And so I'm just going to go ahead and put that together. I'm all about the butterflies. This is my Linux collection. And I actually, when I was going through my mom and my grandma's things after my mom passed away, and I was going through their things, I found the coffee cup with this design, and butterflies are very special to me. So ever since I've had this collection. But I have another bowl I wanted to show you. If you've ever been to jail in Washington, D.C., or probably other places too, you probably have had one of these. So people ask me, why do I keep this bowl? Why do I keep this bowl that I got when I was in jail for January 6th? Because as much as the world and the corrupt people in our government want me to be ashamed of that day? I'm not. I'm not. And soon the world's going to learn the truth, and they're going to learn that as a veteran, I had a responsibility. I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I honestly, with all my heart and soul, believe we have domestic enemies. We have politicians that are inside of our capital that are domestic enemies masquerading as our representatives. So, Lindsey Graham was one. Yeah, Lindsey Graham was one. People say, look, you don't celebrate his death. It's so beneath you. No. That little bitch man. And you know what? I said something in part one, and I'm going to retract that. Because I said I don't care what his sexual orientation is. Here's the only reason why I do care, okay? The only reason I care about Lady Graham's sexual perversions, okay, is because those sexual perversions allowed other governments to blackmail him and to hijack the will of we the people. So that allowed them to do that, because he was blackmailed because of the things they knew about him, and that's just the truth. So, and you know, and people, look, this is a man that doesn't think anything of other people getting killed, including our troops, and almost got blown up twice in Iraq. But here's another thing. People that want to come at me and go, oh, Mickey, you shouldn't look, you got all mad at people, you know, cheering about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was a good man. He didn't do anything but upset people that didn't like what he said. He didn't take anybody's life. He wasn't responsible for the death of anybody. All right. Lindsey Graham sat there and said that they should have shot us Jan 6ers in the head out of his fucking mouth. He said that. Okay? I'm a J6er. I also served my country honorably for 21 years. And I'm a 100% permanent disabled veteran because of different things, you know, I don't have any PTSD or anything like that. It's all physical stuff. I don't want to get into this physical stuff. And anyway, but that's a person, and the world's going to find out he's a traitor. They're going to find out that him and John McCain sold weapons to ISIS. They sure did. They sold weapons to ISIS to use against us. John McCain, he was executed. And YouTube, you can take this down, but it's a fact. It is a fact, because the governor of Ohio even said it. He said John McCain hasn't even been dead 24 hours, and this was long before he supposedly died. This is like way before he supposedly died. The governor of Ohio said he hasn't even been dead 24 hours. And look what's going on in Congress. His own daughter, on The View, she said they can't kill him again, but whatever. They can't kill my dad again, but whatever. He got a messy flag. John McCain got a messy flag. Which that's the military saying this SOB died a traitor. George H.W. Bush got a messy flag. Sure did. So, don't come at me about Lindsey Graham, because yes, if his grave was in front of me, I'd piss on it. I'd piss on it. Because he doesn't deserve any better, in my opinion, that piece of shit. It's in God's hands now. I let God handle it. I don't let God handle it, but don't come at me trying to tell me I'm supposed to cry over that bastard. That traitor piece of dog shit. Yeah, no. Okay, so I had to finish that. I had to get it out of my system. I had to tell you why I have these views about Lady Lindsey Graham. Okay, so I got a bunch of fixings to put with my nachos. I cut up some tomatoes, some green onions, and there's some green chili peppers, and I put them all in this bowl right here. Now, yeah, I got this bowl in the Washington, D.C. jail, and I'm going to have it until I drop dead. And someday, I'll pray to God, my granddaughter, who I don't get to see because I won't shut up about vaccines, and my daughter's a nurse. I hope my granddaughter looks at me the way I looked at my grandpa. Because my grandpa, he was my heart. And he was Air Force. He was a Korean veteran, 100% disabled. And he was my heart. So I hope someday my granddaughter looks at me like I looked at him. So I went in the Air Force because my grandfather and my grandma, my grandma Alice, she was always sitting there going, you should go in the Air Force, you should go in the Air Force. She told me all the reasons. She said I'd get pretty close. Grandma was so full of it. She said, Mickey, you'll get pretty close. Yeah, I think she meant the uniforms, but even then you had to pay them. You got some money, but I always got more than I got. But anyway, so this smells really good. Nothing real special in there. Got some lettuce, organic lettuce I bought from my store. And again, I already told you about Mateo's medium salsa. And I got some guacamole. Daisy. There are so many things I've had my whole life. I've eaten my whole life that I've had to fire because of the ingredients in them. I am happy to report Daisy sour cream is not one of them. Daisy sour cream is just cream. So nothing bad there. So, and I got some refried beans. These are Amy's organic refried beans. I think I got these from Thrive Market. So, okay, so I just thought I would go ahead kind of go over some of those ingredients before. I'm not going to put too much because I probably won't be able to eat very much. I ate a bunch of these. See, you know, when you're talking about fresh meals, like real food, right? Like this real food. They just fill you up so fast. Look at that. Look at that. My chips, they just, look at them. They turned out so amazing. Yeah. I just went Bob's Red Meals, I think is what it's called. And then I got the masa, made it up, put a little bit of that jalapeno juice in there, and cut them. I rolled them out real thin. I put parchment paper on the bottom, parchment paper on the top, rolled them out pretty thin, cut them into some triangles. I had to do that several times. I basically cut it into a square, and then I cut them into just triangles. Whatever's left over, I make another ball, and I start all over again. I did that several times to make much. And then I fried them in beef tallow, and they turned out amazing. So, yeah, some of them I like a lot because they have like they're like little bubbles. Okay, so I know I'm not going to eat much. So I'm going to go ahead and put the cheese on first. Again, I put some jalapeno peppers on there when I cooked it. Look at that, my cheese. Great consistency for me. You might like a little thicker. Like a little thicker, I would just recommend either put more cheese or add some extra flour to it. And that will thicken it up real nice. Okay. And my meat, that turned out amazing. My taco meat. I warmed it up. I tried not to use my microwave as much as possible. I try not to use it So I warmed up my meat. I put some beef tallow in a pan. I actually used some of the beef tallow that I used for my chips. I put it in a pan, and I warmed up my taco meat. And I did the same with my refried beans. I put some of that beef tallow in there and put it on the stove and warmed it up. So, and I'm gonna go ahead and put some of my tomatoes and the green onions on there with the green chili peppers. That looks amazing. And then I'll go ahead and put some of that organic lettuce. Again, I haven't bought lettuce in a long time because of my GARDYM, but it's struggling in this heat. So I got another fan, so I'm hoping it will get better. Like I said, this was just a store-bought guacamole. My store, Market Street, makes it. It's really good. So I put guacamole on there. Put some sour cream again. Happy to say, dollop of daisy. Still good ingredients. No bad stuff in there. Okay, and my last ingredient, some of that Mateo's salsa. And what the hell, more cheese, right? Heck yeah, I kind of have too much cheese. And again, I have jalapenos in there too. So, oh yeah, that looks delicious. Okay, so I got my nachos together for my one meal of the day with my homemade cheese sauce. I've never done that before. Again, another thing was really easy to do. That was really easy. So that's my recommendation. Is just kind of do a search, and a lot of this stuff was just so much easier than I imagined it would be when I started. But if I do a search, and then a lot of times it's just like this cheese, it was so easy to do. I'm not a chef, but I do love to cook. See, that's the thing. When they put you in jail, they take a lot from you that people don't think about. Me not being able to cook, I hate that. I hated being away from my dog, my family, friends, people that I love. Oh, yeah. Only got to go outside 4 times, 1 hour each. We weren't allowed to walk barefoot in the grass. I was in medical isolation for if you didn't take the COVID test. I highly encourage you to go listen to Dr. Kerry Mullis, the creator of the PCR test, who said he's on YouTube. He said he can diagnose anything. All thought you got is a problem. They kept asking me, why I wouldn't take the test. I kept telling them all the reasons. They'd just walk off. I said I was going to be in my cell my whole 180-day sentence for a misdemeanor Washington, D.C. charge of unlawful entry public. I did not go into the Capitol. The judge asked me if I had anything to say. I said, if jail is what I get for fighting for we the people of the United States, for America, Republic, take me to jail. So he slammed his gavel and he said, no need to talk about probation. She obviously has no remorse and she would do it again. I don't think the 2020 election was stolen. I saw it with my own eyes. And as a veteran, I had a duty to we the people, because our collective voice of we the people, of the people, for the people, by the people, was stolen by terrorists and domestic enemies, which are traitors to our republic. They stole our collective voice. They made a decision that we the people no longer had a right to govern ourselves. So they decided they were going to do it for us. It's been going on for a long time. They've been stealing elections for a long time. And they tried to steal the election for Hillary Clinton, but they underestimated President Trump's support, Donald J. Trump's support. They underestimated it. They didn't steal enough votes for her. So they went crazy with Joe Biden, and supposedly he got 81 million votes, more than any president in the history of our country, including President Obama, including Hillary Clinton, including Kamala Harris. And he's on video saying that he had the best, what was it? How do you say it? They had it all together, still the election. I can't remember exactly how he said it, but he said they had it in place. He said he didn't need people to vote for him. He would need their support once he got to office, because they'd already had a system in place to steal elections. And I knew too much truth. I'd endured the whole COVID nonsense, and there just wasn't anything. I wasn't going to play along with any of their nonsense. I wasn't doing it. They kept me in medical isolation for 51 days. For 49 of those days, I wasn't allowed out of my cell for a single second. I wasn't allowed to shower. I couldn't buy anything despite having thousands of dollars in my account. I couldn't even get what I needed to clean my teeth. I could not even get dental floss. The entire time I was in jail, I could not get dental floss, and I had periodontal disease and had 2 gum surgeries in the military. So flossing my teeth was not an option for me. I had to floss my teeth, and I didn't have any. There was no risk of me losing my teeth. I had went to the Aspen Dental before I went to jail, and they cleaned my teeth and everything, did the scaling and everything. But shortly after I got out of jail, my teeth, I was in so much pain. I have a very high pain threshold, but I was in so much pain. That I went to Aspen Dental, and you could literally look in the mirror and see how much damage had been caused in the brief time that I was in jail, 161 days. So, so shortly after, I went to Aspen Dental, and they told me my only option was to pull all my bottom teeth. So when you wonder what us J6ers endured, what price we paid for we the people, this is just one of my prices that I paid. And they knew I had gum issues because I had a horrible car accident. I fell asleep at the wheel, and I had a horrible car accident in Aspen Dental. My 2 front teeth were so loose, they said my only option was to pull all my top teeth. So, Aspen Dental, so the Washington, D.C. jail, they prescribed me Fixodent, knowing I didn't have my top teeth. But I couldn't use the Fixodent because I had no way of cleaning the glue off of my dentures. So I couldn't use the Fixodent. I kept telling them, I need denture tablets, I need dental floss, I need, they said, well, those are not medical items. And to that I say, why not? They give inmates toothpaste. When they get there, they give inmates toothpaste. Why not denture tablets? You can't brush your dentures with regular toothbrush, it will ruin them, it'll scratch them, and then bacteria gets in there, and it's really bad. So, anyway, so I could not, they told me it was not a medical item, I could not get denture tablets. I just needed to take my COVID test so I could get out of my cell and I could order them on the machine. Which, no, that wasn't happening. Because I was standing by my principles and I knew too much. So I wasn't going to do that. And because I'd go out in costume all over the country, SQ Patriot. And at that time I drove my Q-Mobile with tree stickers all over it. And it would have went against everything I believe in. So I just stood strong on my beliefs. So again, I'm not hiding anything from anyone. So I am who I am. The VA is working on getting me new teeth because these are temporaries. They don't even fit right anymore because Aspen Dental didn't do these right anyway. So not something I do all the time, but I need people to just see me as I am. I need to try to do my part to try to tell the truth and also to remove stigmas regarding dentures because I like my fixed smile way better than I liked my real smile. So I had a lot of issues. So, but I'm happy to say the VA has put me in contact with a dentist here in Adelaide, and they are working on new dentures for me because I'm really struggling with these, especially the bottom ones, not staying in and not being able to eat a lot of things. So, anyway. So, President Trump is coming on to speak tomorrow, and let's see what he has to say. We know JFK Jr. is very much alive. It is the anniversary of his fake death. July 16th, 1999 was the day JFK Jr., his wife, and sister-in-law all faked their deaths because Hillary Clinton had put something on his plane. And luckily, the good guys found out about it, but they were going to make it look like an accident and put something on the wings of his plane. But it gave him time to prepare to fake his death. And so his pilot went up in the plane with a voice recording of JFK Jr., and then he parachuted out of the plane. And so Skydog owns that plane now, so that is N529JK is the tail number. I believe that's right. 529, President Kennedy's birthday, May 29th. So I have a Yummalicious Yum Yum dinner. I'm really happy with how my tortilla shell was turned out. Wow. Again, this is Larson-Olson, aka Q Patriot. January 6th, M3736303. Where we go one, we go all. The best is yet to come. Good night, y'all. God bless. It's Yummalicious Yum Yum time.